You're listening to Seven Horns AI, your AI-powered market update. It's Monday, June 8, 2026, and we're bringing you a pre-market preview at just after 6 a.m. Eastern. Overnight, Asian markets reacted sharply to Friday's Wall Street sell-off. Japan's Nikkei closed down approximately 3.85%, a significant decline mirroring the U.S. tech rout. The Hang Seng in Hong Kong also closed lower, between 0.6% and 1.2%. However, ETF proxies for these regions are now showing modest fractional gains in U.S. pre-market trading, suggesting a tentative stabilization and no further acceleration of selling pressure. Here in the U.S., futures are indeed pointing to a cautiously firmer open this morning. S&P 500 futures are currently up about 0.3%, indicating a slight recovery from Friday's sharp losses. Nasdaq 100 futures are showing a stronger bounce, gaining roughly 0.2%. Dow futures, however, are essentially flat, ticking down by about 0.1%. This suggests a selective, rather than broad rebound after Friday's widespread selling, with the EFA-developed international ETF also showing modest fractional gains in pre-market. Friday's rout was fueled by a stronger-than-expected May jobs report, showing the U.S. economy added 172,000 jobs, nearly double the consensus estimate. This good news is bad news scenario reignited fears that the Federal Reserve would keep interest rates higher for longer, causing the 10-year Treasury yield to jump to 4.54% and brutally repricing growth and tech stocks. Among the individual names, Nvidia and Tesla were hit hardest on Friday, falling 6.20% and 6.56% respectively. However, both are leading the pre-market bounce this morning, with Nvidia up 1.67% and Tesla up 1.30%. Other megacaps like Meta and Amazon are also seeing modest gains. Apple held up better on Friday, down just 1.25%, and is slightly higher in pre-market. Interestingly, Microsoft is still under slight pressure, down about 0.5%, and Alphabet is notably softer, declining 1.19% in early trading. Beyond the megacaps, Marvell Technology plummeted 16.74% on Friday, but is now surging over 6% in pre-market, following the announcement of its inclusion in the S&P 500 index. In commodities, crude oil prices are soaring this morning, up nearly 5% in pre-market trading, now nearing $140 a barrel. This massive spike is driven by escalating geopolitical tensions involving Iran, a development that could add fresh inflationary concerns. Gold, surprisingly, failed to act as a safe haven, declining 3.65% on Friday and down another 0.5% in pre-market. Looking ahead to today's session, the market will be watching whether this tentative pre-market bounce in tech and AI-related stocks can hold, especially after such a deep correction on Friday. We'll also be monitoring the evolving geopolitical situation with Iran and its potential impact on oil prices and broader market sentiment. The divergence between the S&P and Nasdaq futures, pointing higher, and the flat Dow futures suggests a selective recovery, with investors likely focusing on the most beaten-down growth names. That's your pre-market briefing from Seven Horns AI. Good luck out there today. Visit sevenhorns.ai for more.